I appreciate you very much joining us during a very difficult time in your homeland, in your home country, and this, of course, your adopted country as well. You guys put up a GoFundMe. You donated a number, hundreds of thousands of dollars to this cause as well, and you guys were able to raise in 72 hours more than €500,000, which is about $500,000 US dollars as well, in just 72 hours. What does that outpouring of support from the fans of Fiorentina mean to you?
Well, that's absolutely phenomenal. Let me, if you don't mind, given the fact that, the situation in Italy is pretty critical, just to put in perspective, we have the highest number of deaths of any country in the world. Italy today has had 80,000 cases. So yesterday, 8,200 deaths, which is comparison to the USA, where we have 86,000 cases and 1,300 deaths is pretty, it's pretty dire, pretty drastic. So, I bought Fiorentina back in June of 2009, and look what's happening. We don't play soccer. Worse than that is the health of my teammate, of the people in Fiorentina and all of Italy. It's a pretty serious situation. In our particular team, we have had basically a 3% hit ratio. People that have been in the hospital or outside of, who've been in the hospital, they're home right now, and that's pretty large percentage. I don't want to scare anyone, but that's the way we have been affected, and hopefully, it goes on the decline as opposed to going up, going forward there. Thank God, the immediate players, so we have had 3 players affected, and the rest of the media, the Fiorentina family, thank God, even those people that have been in the hospital, they're all okay. That's the good part.
You have obviously plenty of family and connections in Italy, and now plenty of family and connections here in the States. Is it more fear in Italy than it is in the U.S.? Is it equal? How do you feel the two countries responding?
Well, I think it started in Italy way before the U.S., but after China. And so maybe they were slow in recognizing the problem that was going to take place. But it's serious in the sense that everything, all economic activity, as I talk about Florence, the beautiful city of Florence, is stopped. And restaurants, hotels, there's 50 million tourists that come to Florence every year, and there's none on the roads, on the streets, and that has a huge economic consequence. So it's pretty serious, and that's part of the reason why just a week ago we started this fundraiser. That it's attracted contributors from both Italy, large and small, and the U.S., for which I want to give my thanks to all the people, especially in the cable television business, the programming business, even CBS, right? We do business with Viacom, we do business with all the ESPN, NBC, because I also own a company called Mediacom Communications, which is the 5th largest cable television company in the nation. And there's been an overwhelming support both from the U.S. and Italy in raising funds for the hospital chain in and around Florence and the larger region of Tuscany.
Rocco Commisso joins us this morning here on the show. He's the owner of ACF Fiorentina in Florence, in Italy, and Serie A, and so they are dealing with this crippling disease right now on a big-time level in Italy. I'd like to ask you about the finances of owning a team. You sent out a memo to the Fiorentina family, and you said, we're on steady ground, companies on steady ground, Mediacom. But what does shutting down a season like this do in terms of revenue and running an operation, running a team like in the first division in Italy?
Yeah, look, I mean, the strength of Fiorentina really comes from the strength of my larger company, which is Mediacom, right? I think if it was just Fiorentina today, we would have major problems. But we have much reduced potential revenues. Most of our revenues comes from stadium, game day activities. which is totally shut down, and two, the television money. So we have reduced revenues with a fixed cost base as it relates to the players and all the other commitments that we have, and so it's pretty serious. Whether we get help, whether something's going to happen on television front, I really don't know today. But that's the issue with soccer, and it's not just Fiorentina; it's the entire European soccer. I'm sure at some point in time it's going to happen here in the U.S., where the television money may not come in as expected if the games are not going to be played, whether in whatever sports you're involved. So it's pretty tough. Thank God for us, I have a pretty sizable organization called Mediacom, that it's a cable television business, which has a product, a service that it's essential to the American public. If you think about it, with everybody staying at home, other than food and medicine, the most important other thing is entertainment and broadband. We have huge amounts of customers that rely on our broadband service and our cable modem service, the internet, to get the information and the entertainment. So on the business side here in the U.S., we're in great shape. On the business side and the personal side, in Fiorentina, we're not.
On the personal side, one of the things that Italy has been hit hard by is it's the second oldest population in the world. How much of the age of the Italian population is in effect right now with the cases and the deaths that we're seeing in Italy?
Yeah, I would say over 90% of the deaths are for people over 60 years old. I think that's the number that I read. But that's not only it. I think Italy, and hopefully the same thing doesn't happen here in New York, got overwhelmed by a huge amount of people that nobody knew about, that they had the coronavirus, right? And it overwhelmed the hospital system up in the north, in the Lombardy region. That's where it all really started. And it started moving down towards the south. And they did not, and still not, specialize the hospitals to take care of the coronavirus patients. So whether it's the ambulances, the hospital stuff, a lot of doctors have passed away, unfortunately, frontline people. So it's been, it's not just I guess what I'm saying to you, it's not just the older population, although the older population are the ones, frankly, that are the highest percentage of people that have deceased. But, hopefully we're to stop at a level we're declining. Part of the real reason why we immediately, as we have been taught here in the U.S., right, to give. We put this fund together, which has already crossed the $700,000 level, is to help the frontline people, the nurses, the doctors, the ambulance drivers, and we're buying equipment left and right. Unlike the American government that has an independent financial structure, right, it's very easy for the government here to go out and pass the $2 trillion budget, stimulus package, help package, right? In Italy, it's not that easy. So, and Italy is not used to private donations the way we are in America. We have always done it here in America. So, what we're doing with this Fortune Quarter, if you don't mind me saying this, Fortune Quarter website, you could go to Viola Channel on the internet, Google Viola, V, like in Victor, IOLA channel, and get access to the donation page. So I would urge anyone in the U.S., anyone, especially in the New York metropolitan area, where it has the largest percentage of Italian Americans, to please do all you can to contribute to this dire situation that we find ourselves in Italy. And this has become now the largest fundraiser of anyone from the U.S., and I want to say that, if you don't mind, towards towards Italy and specifically the city of Florence.
Yeah, the Translation of the fund is Strength and Heart. So if you're looking to help out those in need right now, as of course there's a lot of medical supplies and helping those in the front lines, the medical personnel that are helping us all, this is a great way to contribute and to do that. Strength and Heart is how it translates. Once again, as Rocco said, you can go online, Google it, and find it. It's part of the Fiorentina cause, Viola family, Viola, Viola, for the violet colors that they play with on Fiorentina's ACF Fiorentina team in Serie A. Rocco, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Thanks so much for your cause, your contributions, and helping others be helped at this time. The organization's doing a lot of cool things, and I appreciate what you're doing. We all do, and I appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Damon. Thank you, and good luck to you personally, all right? Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. Good luck to you, too. Best of health. Rocco Commisso joining us this morning here on the show.